We're asking the question of show me the current timeline for meeting my life partner. So the first thing to understand is that what we mean by a life partner is someone that you're going to spend the rest of your time here with. Meaning there won't be any separation, there won't be any fighting, there won't be any troubles between you. It is someone that you're spending your life with, you're working together, and there isn't any turmoil. So with that said, we're gonna do the Celtic Cross on this one again. And the reason that we're doing that, I did pre-shuffle as well, is because it shows us the major energies that are at play right now in this particular cycle, right? So this is the timeline for meeting them. So at the center, the current situation is the King of Cups. And so this particular energy is what it is that you have been waiting for, right? When you get to what it was that we gave the preamble about, it was letting you know that this person exists, right? That whatever turmoil you had been through in the past, that's done. And that is the High Priestess energy. So what are the energies that are influencing this? What is it? How did that come about? And that's the High Priestess. The High Priestess is without a doubt the most powerful alignment to knowledge, awareness, and understanding. She has the energy of all of the spiritual wisdom, right? I would take out the particular word in this case, which is the Torah, and I would say it's well beyond one particular spiritual understanding to embody them all, to really understand the world at large and what's going on around the economy, what's going on around society, to what's going on around her, and to truly make a beacon of light of herself. And so this energy is showing the influence in how it is that the situation came about is the connection that you have to source. And they're drawing my attention to my ring, and it's a copper snake ring. Copper isn't exactly the most expensive metal, but it is one of the most conductive. I think gold might be a little better at that, but what I will say is the energy of this ring, for example, is the energy of balance and the energy of your connection to source itself. And so the energy of the High Priestess is that. It is the connection to source and the balance of energies within yourself to be able to house within you, without a doubt, without any control, the true embodiment of knowledge, awareness, and understanding. Loving that. Okay, we can probably zoom in a little bit and tell. Okay. So that's the basis of the situation of what exists, and the influencing energy around that is the energy of pure source intelligence. So when we talk about what's the basis of the situation, how does that come about? And we have the Ace of Pentacles. Over there yet? Okay. And so the Ace of Pentacles, I love, I want to say is literally like God reaching his hand out with a stable offer. It is an energy of stability, and it stabilizes all of the energies that are around it. So the basis of the situation has to do what I was channeling with the ring, right? And it is simply the understanding that when you have an energy of stability that you are maintaining within yourself and you are channeling the energy of pure awareness and understanding, then you cultivate the ability for a true love life partner to emerge. So that's the basis. Fantastic. And then we go to what really did you go through? What's behind you? So this is what happened. But what ultimately got you there is the Three of Pentacles. This one kind of brought tears to me, and it wasn't necessarily any sort of negative emotion, but really a complete understanding. And the understanding is that they are building. The Three of Pentacles, Pentacles being the earth, the stable energy, they are building, they are working together. So the reality is that you got here by working with others, right? You got here by putting your trust and your faith in the world around you in every single way that you needed to in order to manifest that ability to be the High Priestess, to be the anchor of wisdom and knowledge, and to have that stability anchored within yourself. So how did you get there? You built the path with a team around you. And so they want me to elaborate a little bit on that, because the team around you includes physical people, right? It includes physical people coming into alignment as you came into alignment. It is essentially pulling others up with you along your path and creating a balance of energy around you because of the souls that were circulating around you that were able to line up with your path. And that is a very, very, very important point to understand about the ascension energy. And it is, you don't do it by yourself, right? And they want me to draw a biblical reference. And the Bible is the one that I'm the most familiar with. So if you look at that, right? Jesus didn't walk around by himself. He had a series of disciples, and Mary Magdalene among them, right? He had a partner, essentially, in Mary Magdalene, and he also had a series of disciples that were helping him to spread the word and learning how to embody that energy. And that is a very large part of understanding that this absolutely goes to the spirit realm, and it goes to connection with your soul, connection with your higher self, connection with the source energy itself, and understanding the complexities of all of those connections. But above all, it goes to your understanding of how it is that you are cultivating the world around you through all of the elements that you are cultivating within yourself. So with each element of stability that you cultivated within yourself, you were laying a path. And part of that is, when it comes to learning and understanding and progression, is being ready, willing, and able to share that with others if and when they're ready. Okay. So that is where you were, right? That's like how you got there. So this one is, what is it, right? What is it ultimately that we're looking at? What is the crux of the situation? And we have the Wheel of Fortune. And I am interpreting this through my channel ability in a unique way. And I want to say, so far, there are two major arcana energies, right? And that is the major cycles and choices in our lives. The choice to anchor that energy, the choice to be able to have the wisdom to bring about the people that you want and desire into your life. And so the Wheel of Fortune here, if we look at the situation, the energy that is really influencing it, the crowning situation, if you will, is the Wheel of Fortune. So we have a major arcana, a major cycle. You becoming you is the first step in that journey. The second step is the forward movement. And the Wheel of Fortune is forward movement in a positive direction. And I want to point out for the first time, I think, in my channeling, that the wheel is nearly taking down and crouching out what I would symbolize as the darker energy, if you will. And so what does that mean? What does that mean for what's about to happen tomorrow? What does it mean for what's about to happen right now? What it means is, because of those that have channeled themselves by connecting to their own inner guidance into a higher dimensional aspect of themselves, because of the way they were anchoring stability within themselves, because of their willingness to work with others, that we are going to see great forward movement. It is simply, how do you choose to look at that forward movement? How do you choose to view what's going on out there? And so what I'm going to read now is what's about to happen, right? And so what is it, because of all of these things, because of what it is that you wanted and what it is that is coming to fruition, right? So the crowning jewel here is forward movement. And so the question is, what type of forward movement, and how do you choose to view that forward movement? And they're telling me we want 3 cards here. So, you know, this is not your typical Celtic Cross reading, but that's okay. Okay. So first we have the Hanged Man, then we have the Emperor, and then we have the Knight of Wands. Okay. So they wanted 3 cards there, and that's more than fine with me. And so what's about to happen, if you read this in a true 3-card fashion, and I intend to, is the energy of being stuck is being untied. And these came out in reversal, and I don't read reversals, and I'm going to leave this card as it is. But the Hanged Man, when you look at him in the reversed position, he has a halo of gold around his head, right? And it is as though the energy that is the giving energy, right, is anchored. It is stable. It is connected if you read it in the reverse position. So what I will say is, it is the energy of stuck being released. It is the energy of releasing the stuff that had been holding back the forward movement, and of this man coming forward, right? And so we now have 4 major arcana energies, right? And a very grounding, stable energy at the base of the situation, which is incredibly rare and powerful. Because the Ace of Pentacles stabilizes everything around it. And that is your embodiment of your soul and your knowledge and your awareness. And so the Hanged Man is turning it around and getting unstuck, because it is the alignment of meeting your true love life partner. And that is also the energy of understanding of the Knight of Wands. Can be read in many different ways, and I'd like you to throw that out the window and say, what this is a forward movement of a passionate man who really wants to make you his lover. And our interpretation of lover may be different than yours, but I will let you interpret that as you will. So this energy so far is showing us that the basis of the situation is the timeline is now, right? What is already there is stability. What you already did was work with people. What is the overall situation, what you want to happen, is forward movement. So what's about to happen is the King of Cups being stuck, releasing himself, and making passionate forward movement, right? And this is a man coming forward with a sense of passion and pursuit. And so the important thing to know about this reading is that if you were the runner, stop running. If you were the chaser, stop chasing. If you were thinking that you needed to do a whole lot of things or correct anything else, this energy is saying otherwise. Because the Ace of Pentacles purely illustrates that that energy is done. That energy is completed and the forward movement is in progress, right? And that is why they wanted 3 cards here to say what it is that's about to happen is the Emperor emerging from being stuck and really coming forward. And he's doing the heavy lifting. And we're going to clarify that because this is the energy of how it is that you're worried about the situation. And that is the 5 of Wands. And so what does the 5 of Wands mean? And they're drawing my attention to the fact that it actually was in reverse, even though I wasn't going to look at it that particular way. And so the 5 of Wands is your fear is that there's conflict. Your fear is that there's a lot of work to be done, or that you have to sift through a maze of people in order to find the one that you're supposed to be with. And I'm here to tell you that's not it, because how your partner sees you is the 3 of Cups. And what I would say here is that this energy of the past, this 3 of Pentacles, is working together, right? The 3 of Pentacles in general, right, is a need to utilize others on your journey, right? So you did that. You did that in the past. And when we get to the 3 of Cups, it's actually healing that energy, right? It's healing whatever it was between you that caused you to need these other people to help you come into this stable energy. That's done, right? That is what is behind you. The needing other partners to show you what needed to be corrected within yourself, that be gone. The energy now, how your partner sees you, is that anything that was separating you, anything that was keeping you two from being together, that's done. Because he's willing to do what he needs to do. And so what you really want is to move together, to work through everything that's about to unearth itself here on the planet in the next 48 hours. What you wanted was someone to walk with you to weather the storm, right? And so what it is, though, what is the answer of the timeline is the 4 of Pentacles. So the 4 of Pentacles here is saying, let go of your need to have safety. Let go of your need to have security, right? And instead of that, instead of a need to hold on to these things, know that they're gone. Because the timeline for closure is that he may not be there when the world spins off in a new direction. He may not be there if there's still a need for a lot of things to be corrected in the world overall at large. So the answer here, when you look at the four of Pentacles, is the answer to our question, which is the current timeline, is more like 4 days. So here's what I want you to know about this. In all transparency, I had to think about what day it is. It's Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Now, is this reading timeless? It is not. People say that, and a lot of times they are. This one is not. This one is saying that there are 4 days left. And they are very, very specific, because what we asked for is a dual play in this card. We asked for a timeline, and there is very clearly 4. And they're not saying 4 days as in 4-day cycles. They're saying 4 specific days. And it's done. And I want you to also know that the energies that are coming about the world's shift in its orbit is also currently on a pretty large trajectory for that. And so you wanted someone here, you wanted a stable partner. What happened? What happened was you created it within yourself, right? The need for him to take care of you isn't really there. He's there. He's ready. But he's not going to be there to hold your hand when the world shifts. What he will do is be there in the aftermath. And to be honest, that's all you ever really wanted. They want me to pull 4 clarifying cards as well. Yep. Okay, so that's the World card. And we're just going to do that for aforementioned reasons and other readings. The 8 of Wands, the Hierophant, and the 10 of Cups. Loving that energy. And they're saying we can show the bottom of the deck that I already looked at, and that was the 2 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, and the 7 of Cups. And here's what I have to say about that. We have more major arcana over here, because this is your thoughts about the situation. This is clarification on what's going on. What's going on is forward movement. We have that clarified again in the 8 of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. They already gave us the major arcana surrounding that forward positive movement. And now we see 8 of Wands moving forward the actual World card. And I chose to cross that as well, which I'm loving that. So what we see here is the completion of a cycle, right? The World card is the only completion card. What's the completion of? What is it? Very clearly, the completion, the forward movement, the completion is the marriage and the happily ever after card. They're having me read those verbatim. And so here's what I want you to know. The subconscious energies here are your fears. The subconscious energies are, what's the choice? What am I supposed to do? Is it someone from the past? Is it someone current? And holy moly, what all do I have to do? And that's the answer here. You just keep being you. End of reading. Thank you.